This is Marvel Legends Extremis Iron Man Stealth Variant, part of the first wave of the 2012 return of Marvel Legends 6-inch action figures. I wasn't planning on getting the Iron Man figure. I found the wave at a local comic shop, and I only got a couple of figures. I was only going to get a couple, but I ended up getting the entire wave. But with Iron Man, I really wasn't interested in him because, like, I don't need another Iron Man figure, and I definitely don't need another variant Iron Man figure of a different suit. But so I got two at first, and I really liked those, and I went and got the rest of the wave. But I found the blue Iron Man variant, and I got it just because the collector in me told me to get it. And I bought it out of the package, and I really like it out of the package. I really like the sculpt of it. I'm not too big on the paint, but I really like the sculpt of it. So I'm planning on getting a regular Iron Man. I'll try and pick that up today or tomorrow, and then I'll put a review of that up. He's the only figure that comes to a case. The case is just pretty much one of each, and then there's two Iron Mans. And from what I've seen so far, it's either going to be two variants or two regular ones. From here on out, it'll probably just be regular ones, but could be wrong about that. More on him in a minute. Let's look at his packaging first, as always. I really like this new Marvel Legends packaging. It's really cool. It looks very comic booky. It's got a really good image, and he just looks awesome in the package. All the words are really big on it. I really like it. The only problem I have with the packaging is there's not a very good picture of the figure on here. There's this little picture, but it's only really half of their chest and their head. So I would have liked a bigger picture of the figure on there, maybe, or at least a picture of the entire body. It doesn't have to be a whole figure. A big picture. And he is a build-a-figure release, which means he comes with a body part of a different figure that you put together. He comes with the right leg, and when you get all of them, you can build Terrax, the Herald of Galactus. I like that figure. Maybe I'll do a review on him. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Alright. Before I start with him, I just want to apologize that I haven't posted in like a week. I was having some problems with my new camera, and I was just super busy. My girlfriend stayed over for a few days, so I just didn't really have any time. But I'm posting these, and I'll get back to my regular posting frequency right away. Alright, so the figure. He's based on the Extremis Iron Man, obviously, which is a version that was created by Adi Granoff. This is the DVD, not the book, which is the version that they based the movie Iron Man off of. So he looks a lot like the movie Iron Man. So if you like the movie Iron Man, then you'll probably like this guy. Alright, so the sculpt is a brand new sculpt from what I can tell. I don't think they've used this one or this exact sculpt on any Iron Man figure yet, so I'm pretty sure it's a brand new sculpt. It looks a lot like the Marvel Universe 4-inch figure, just in terms of sculpting detail and the way it's sectioned and just the way it's sculpted in general. Only difference is the paint. The regular one has this type of paint. I see the sculpted detail on him. It's really thick. It looks really good on him. See all that nice sculpting detail, all the sections and pieces on him, especially his back. That really looks like a big piece of metal on top of another big piece of metal. On this guy, he has pretty much the same little sections and lining and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't look quite as heavy duty. It doesn't look quite as metally. That might be the paint on this guy. I won't know for sure until I get the other one, but as far as the paint goes, it's just this one color metallic blue, and then it has a little bit of lighter blue, trimming here and there, and then of course he has the red eyes and red propulsors. But other than that, the paint is really simple. It's just this one metallic blue all over it, and then a little bit of blue trimming. That's it. So I'm hoping the regular version has a little bit more paint detail in that. There's not really much paint detail in this entire wave, which confuses me. I think a bigger figure should have more detail than the 4-inch versions, but I don't know. He doesn't stand up very well either. I do like the proportions of him, though. He is a little bit skinny. If you were to imagine Tony Stark inside this suit, he would be really skinny. So I would have expected it to be a little bulkier, but I actually prefer this sleeker looking Iron Man. I know it's probably not proportionally accurate, but I really like it. It's proportionally accurate to itself. Like, you know, everything is proportioned fine for this skinny version, but a lot of people might think he's a little bit too small. It's very sleek. It's very streamlined. It just lacks a little bit of detail. See, there's not really. I would expect more little compartments and doors and, you know, servos or whatever on it, but I still really like the sculpt. These little shoulder things are immovable, just like on the 4-inch one. You just kind of snap them off. I don't know why you want to do that. Underneath, there's no paint detail there. It's just, I think it's just a dyed plastic. But I mean, you can snap it off if you want to. It gets a little bit in the way in the articulation in terms of the elbows, and his little boot armor, that kind of gets in the way of him articulating his feet up and down. He can only do it a little bit, and also he can't move his legs forward that much. That's about as far as it'll go because of the armor. The head on him is awesome. I love this Iron Man head. I love the way it looks. It's the one they used in the movie, and I think they picked a really good one for the movie. It just looks super cool. It looks really mean. And again, it just looks really sleek, and it looks like Tony Stark would have designed this. It really does. In terms of quality control, these 6-inch Marvel Legends figures are pretty good with not giving out many errors on these things. But I don't know, just keep, you know, the basic stuff. Make sure his eyes are straight and the little red bits are straight, and all the borders between the two different colored paints are nice and neat. There is a chip in his paint on the back of his head. I don't know if you can see it right there. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a tiny little chip. Like, I feel like this metallic paint chips a lot easier than most, so just keep an eye out for that when you're shopping for him in the stores. Like I said, he's pretty skinny. Well, I'll give you a size comparison next to the 4-inch one, but let me give you a closer figure in height. This is Power Girl from the DCU line. He's just a little bit taller than her, but I mean he's barely any wider than her. Articulation, he's got good articulation on paper, but a lot of it's hindered because of his armor. He's got a ball-jointed head which sits on a hinge. He's got a ball-jointed shoulders, swivel bicep. I mean, this thing just gets in the way. Simple hinge elbow, a ball hinge wrist, a ball hinge chest. No articulation in the waist, which I'm not a fan of that. I think they could have easily hidden it in this armor. And he's got swivel hinge hips, so those can go forward, or at least they could if it wouldn't get in the way, and out. It's not a ball, it's just swivel hinge. Swivel thigh, double jointed knee, and a ball hinge feet, so that swivels 360, and it goes down and up just a little bit though, because that boot armor gets in the way also. Alright, so final thoughts. I like this guy. I like the sculpt of him. I'm not a big fan of the paint. I like a regular Iron Man better. If you're not a collector, you might want to get the normal one, and if you get this one, you might want to keep him in the package. I'd give him like a 6 or a 7. I mean, he's a good figure. He's good for what he is. He's competent, but he's not great. I'm not going to give him any higher than a 6 or a 7. Should you get him, I'd put him somewhere in the middle of your priority list for this wave. There are a lot better figures, but he's certainly not the worst. Again, he's good but not great. And there are other better figures, which I will review next. Anyway, that's all for him. I hope you found this helpful, and until next time, keep collecting.